President Trump's former lawyer and fixer Michael Cohen is on his way to federal prison to begin a 3-year prison sentence. He pleaded guilty to tax evasion and campaign finance crimes, as well as lying to Congress. Cohen must report to the Federal Correction Institute in Otisville, New York, which is about 70 miles northwest of New York City. He spoke to reporters a short time ago as he left his Manhattan home.
I hope that when I rejoin my family and friends, that the country will be in a place without xenophobia, injustice, and lies at the helm of our country. There still remains much to be told, and I look forward to the day that I can share the truth. And thank you all very much.
I spoke to CBSN legal contributor Keir Dougall earlier on CBSN AM about Cohen's claim he can fill in some of the redacted material from the Mueller report.
Well, the first thing is I'm a little skeptical about the notion that Michael Cohen could fill in all those blanks. There are a bunch of different categories, and I'd be surprised if he had knowledge of them. Some of them relate to counterintelligence, some of them relate to third parties, and some of them relate to ongoing investigations that I'm not sure that he would have full knowledge of. He may have some knowledge of some of the other materials that were redacted for grand jury information, but we also have to remember that Lanny Davis has had to walk back some statements that he had offered for Michael Cohen earlier, and Mr. Cohen is not the greatest witness. So I think we should take a grain of salt with the notion that he can fill in a lot of those blanks.
Why do you think he wants to hold Michael Cohen wants to hold a press conference? I mean, he's going to jail.
That is a little unusual. I guess I'd be speculating a little bit here. He seems to be somebody who wants to have attention on himself. Look, he's got a shot for a year to try to get another chance at cooperation. This seems to be a very odd way to go about it. If you want to bring prosecutors on your side, you don't do it through a press conference.
Yeah, it just seems sort of... Here's the thing. This may be neither here nor there, but there are so many people who go to jail, sometimes even wrongfully convicted people who go to jail, and they don't get this opportunity to stand before press cameras and media and deliver a press conference before they have to go to prison. In other words, it just strikes me of some kind of weird privilege that he has here that, he feels the need to, rather than release a statement or put something out on Twitter or whatever he wants to do, that he's going to stand in front of the cameras and once again explain. We've heard him testify, we've heard him tweet, we've heard him say in other press interviews what he feels about the president. It just is kind of I don't know, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. Look, one of the things is that, Michael Cohen and the Southern District investigation, I do think represents some risk for the president. And that's because Michael Cohen has tapes, and it's not just his word, right? Particularly in the campaign finance arena, the lying to Congress about the Moscow Tower and the duration of that when the president was denying that there was any business in Russia. That creates another problem because during that period the Russians knew what the rest of the American public didn't, which potentially gave the Russians some leverage over the campaign. So those areas continue to be, I think, a risk. Not to mention his congressional testimony where there was some concern about insurance submissions. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the congresswoman, asked some very pointed questions about that. Those may have led into some of the redacted ongoing matters. So it's possible that that's what he's referring to. But you're right. This is very unusual that someone going to prison would be holding a press conference, and frankly, I think the fact that the press is interested in what he has to say is because of this potential risk.